In the early 20th century, amidst the backdrop of a world on the brink of war, a figure emerged who would embody the duality of art and espionage. Mata Hari, a name that would become synonymous with intrigue, captivated audiences with her mesmerizing dance performances. Yet beneath the surface of her exotic allure lay a complex web of secrets, deception, and betrayal that would ultimately shape the course of history. Born Margaretha Zell in the Netherlands, Mata Hari reinvented herself as a seductive performer in Paris. Her dance was not merely an art form, it was a weapon of seduction, allowing her to navigate the elite circles of European society. As the continent teetered on the edge of conflict, her performances became a facade, masking her true intentions and aspirations, as she sought to gain influence and power in a world rife with chaos. As World War I erupted, Mata Hari found herself in a unique position. With her connections to both French and German officials, she became a valuable asset for intelligence agencies. The very skills that made her a celebrated dancer now transformed into tools of espionage. In the smoky backrooms of Parisian cafes, she exchanged whispers and glances that held the potential to alter the fate of nations, her every move cloaked in the shadows of war. Yet, the world of espionage is fraught with peril. As Mata Hari danced her way through the treacherous landscape of wartime Europe, the line between friend and foe blurred. Her allure drew in powerful men, but it also painted a target on her back. Accusations of betrayal began to swirl, fueled by paranoia and the desperate need for scapegoats in a time of uncertainty. The very art of deception she wielded became her greatest threat. In 1917, the net closed around Mata Hari. Arrested by French authorities, she stood accused of being a double agent, a charge that would lead to her dramatic trial. The courtroom became a stage where her life story was dissected and sensationalized. The dancer who once captivated audiences now faced the ultimate consequence of her dangerous game, as the specter of betrayal loomed large over her legacy, casting shadows on her name. Mata Hari's trial was a spectacle of its own, drawing crowds eager to witness the downfall of the infamous spy. As she defended herself, her words echoed through the chambers, a mix of defiance and vulnerability. The prosecution painted her as a femme fatale, a seductress who used her body as a weapon. Yet in the chaos of war, the truth became a casualty, obscured by the very legends that surrounded her. Ultimately, Mata Hari was found guilty and executed by firing squad, her life extinguished in a moment that would reverberate through history. Yet, her legacy did not end with her death. The narrative of the exotic dancer turned spy morphed into a symbol of the complexities of war, where truth was often manipulated and the line between hero and villain blurred, leaving behind a story that would inspire countless tales of espionage. Mata Hari became more than just a name. She transformed into a legend, a cautionary tale of the seductive power of espionage. In the annals of history, her story serves as a reminder of the shadows that lurk behind the glimmer of fame. As the world continues to grapple with the intricate dance of truth and deception, the legacy of Mata Hari endures, a testament to the enduring allure of the spy and the stories that shape our understanding of conflict. Born in the shadows of a tumultuous world, Mata Hari emerged from a fractured childhood in the Netherlands. Her early years were marked by loss and displacement, shaping her into a woman who would later wield her charm as a weapon. The remnants of her past fueled a relentless ambition, propelling her toward a new identity that would defy convention and redefine the role of women in a male-dominated society. As Europe plunged into chaos, Mata Hari reinvented herself as a celebrated dancer and exotic performer. Her mesmerizing performances captivated audiences, but beneath the glittering facade lay a strategic mind. In a world where truth was often obscured, she learned to manipulate perception, using her allure to navigate the treacherous waters of espionage. Her rise was not merely an escape, it was a calculated move in a dangerous game. With the outbreak of World War I, Mata Hari found herself at the crossroads of conflict and intrigue. Her connections to influential figures opened doors, allowing her to gather secrets that could shift the tides of war. Yet, in a landscape where loyalty was fleeting, she became a double-edged sword, straddling the line between patriotism and betrayal. Her life became a tapestry woven with threads of deception and danger. In the smoky backrooms of Parisian cafes, whispers of her exploits grew louder. Mata Hari, the enigmatic spy, became a legend in her own right. Each encounter was a dance of seduction and strategy, as she played both sides against one another. Her ability to extract information became her most potent weapon, yet it was her very fame that would ultimately lead to her downfall in a world rife with suspicion. As the war raged on, Mata Hari's life spiraled into a labyrinth of intrigue and peril. Accusations of espionage began to swirl around her, fueled by a society eager to find a scapegoat. The very skills that had once elevated her now cast a shadow over her existence. In a time when truth became a weapon, her identity was weaponized against her, turning her into a target of nationalistic fervor. Captured by French authorities, Mata Hari faced a trial that would seal her fate. The courtroom became a theater where her life story was dissected under the harsh glare of scrutiny. The lines between fact and fiction blurred, as her past was weaponized against her. In the eyes of a war-weary public, she transformed from a celebrated performer to a symbol of treachery, embodying the complexities of loyalty and betrayal. On the eve of her execution, Mata Hari reflected on the ruins of her life. The woman who had once danced on stages across Europe now stood poised to meet her end, a victim of the very game she had played. Yet even in her final moments, she remained defiant, a testament to the resilience of a woman who had rebuilt her life from the ashes of her past, only to be consumed by the flames of war. Mata Hari's legacy endures, a haunting reminder of the blurred lines between truth and deception. In a world where spies become legends, her story echoes through time, illustrating the profound impact of a life shaped by conflict. As history remembers her not just as a spy, but as a woman who navigated the complexities of war, her tale continues to inspire a fascination with the shadows that lie beneath the surface of our reality. In the early 20th century, as Europe teetered on the brink of war, Mata Hari emerged from the shadows of obscurity. A dancer and courtesan, she captivated audiences with her exotic performances, but beneath the glamour lay a shrewd understanding of human desire. In a world where men sought solace from the chaos of impending conflict, she became a master of seduction, wielding allure as a potent weapon. Mata Hari's rise was not merely a tale of personal ambition. It was a reflection of the shifting dynamics of power. As nations prepared for war, the art of espionage evolved. Traditional methods of gathering intelligence were increasingly supplemented by the subtler, more insidious tactics of seduction. Mata Hari embodied this new breed of spy, where charm and charisma could unlock the secrets of the most guarded men. Her relationships with high-ranking military officials became a double-edged sword. While she seduced them with her beauty, she also extracted vital information. Each whispered conversation in dimly lit rooms was a calculated risk, a dance between intimacy and betrayal. Mata Hari understood that in a time of war, emotional connections could yield the most dangerous secrets, transforming her from a mere performer into a pivotal player on the battlefield of espionage. As World War I erupted, Mata Hari's notoriety grew. She became a symbol of the femme fatale, a woman who wielded her sexuality with precision. Yet her allure was not just personal, it was a reflection of the era's anxieties. In a world consumed by violence, the idea that a woman could manipulate the very fabric of war through seduction both fascinated and terrified society, solidifying her legacy as a legendary spy. However, the very weapon that elevated her status also sowed the seeds of her downfall. Accusations of espionage began to swirl as nations grew paranoid, desperate for scapegoats amidst the chaos. Mata Hari, once celebrated, became a target. Her relationships, once seen as assets, were now scrutinized as treachery. The seductive power that had once opened doors now threatened to close them forever, revealing the perilous nature of her chosen path. In 1917, the web of intrigue tightened around her. Arrested by French authorities, Mata Hari stood accused of being a German spy, a claim she vehemently denied. Yet the allure that had once captivated her audiences now painted her as a dangerous seductress. The trial that followed was a spectacle, a dramatic confrontation between the myth of the femme fatale and the harsh realities of war, where truth and deception blurred into one. As she faced a firing squad, Mata Hari's legacy was cemented in the annals of history. Her execution marked the tragic end of a life lived in the shadows, but her story transcended her fate. She became a symbol of the complexities of war, where seduction could be both a weapon and a curse. In her demise, the world witnessed the ultimate irony. A woman who had danced with power was ultimately consumed by it. Mata Hari's life and death continue to resonate, a testament to the seductive power of espionage. In a world where truth becomes a weapon, her legacy endures as a reminder of the blurred lines between love and betrayal. As history reflects on her story, it reveals how the art of seduction not only shaped the course of war, but also carved a permanent place for her in the pantheon of legendary spies. As the Great War unfolded, nations sought every advantage, and within this chaos, Mata Hari emerged, a figure cloaked in allure and mystery. Recruited by the French, she became a weapon of seduction, gathering secrets from high-ranking officers who were entranced by her charm. In a world where truth was a malleable construct, her ability to weave deception became a formidable asset. The allure of Mata Hari was not merely in her beauty, but in her capacity to navigate the treacherous waters of espionage. She danced between empires, her performances captivating audiences while she discreetly gathered intelligence. Each movement on stage was a calculated step, each gaze a potential invitation for secrets to spill, as she transformed her art into a tool of war, blurring the lines between performer and spy. With each clandestine meeting, Mata Hari became more entangled in the web of espionage. Her reports, laced with half-truths and fabrications, were sent to her handlers, who believed they were gaining insight into enemy plans. Yet the very nature of her role meant that she was often a pawn in a larger game, her life hanging in the balance as empires vied for dominance through the shadows. As the war raged on, the stakes grew higher. Mata Hari's dual life began to unravel, and the very empires that had once embraced her now turned against her. Accused of being a double agent, she found herself ensnared in a trap of her own making. The secrets she had once wielded as weapons now threatened to destroy her, as the truth became a weapon in the hands of her accusers. Captured and brought to trial, Mata Hari's fate hung in the balance. The courtroom became a theater of its own, where her past was dissected and her motives scrutinized. The empires that had once recruited her now sought to make an example of her, using her story to illustrate the dangers of espionage. In this moment, the line between legend and reality blurred, as her life became a cautionary tale. On the day of her execution, Mata Hari stood defiant, a symbol of the complexities of war and the price of betrayal. As the firing squad took aim, she faced her fate with the poise of a performer, her legacy already etched into the annals of history. In her final moments, she transformed from a mere spy into a legend, embodying the very essence of espionage, a dance of shadows, secrets, and sacrifice. In the years that followed, Mata Hari's story transcended her tragic end, becoming a powerful narrative of intrigue and betrayal. She was immortalized in literature and film, her life a testament to the seductive power of espionage. The empires that had once sought to control her narrative found themselves overshadowed by the legend she left behind, a reminder that in war, truth is often the first casualty. Mata Hari's legacy continues to resonate, a symbol of the blurred lines between loyalty and betrayal. Her life serves as a stark reminder of the lengths to which individuals will go in the name of empire. In the shadows of history, she remains an enduring figure, a testament to the idea that in the world of espionage, truth is a weapon, and those who wield it can become legends, for better or worse. As the Great War unfolded, Mata Hari found herself ensnared in a web of espionage, caught between the warring giants of France and Germany. Her allure was a weapon, a tool she wielded with precision. In the smoky salons of Paris and the shadowy corners of Berlin, she danced through the lives of powerful men, extracting secrets that could tip the scales of war. Mata Hari's unique position allowed her to play both sides, feeding information to the French while simultaneously seducing German officers. This double game was fraught with peril, yet it was a dance she performed with grace. Each whispered conversation and stolen glance became a thread in the intricate tapestry of deception, where the line between friend and foe blurred into obscurity. However, the very skills that made her invaluable also painted a target on her back. As suspicions grew, the French intelligence services began to scrutinize her movements. They viewed her not as a mere performer, but as a potential traitor, a woman whose charm could mask treachery. In a world where loyalty was fleeting, her fate hung precariously in the balance. In 1917, the inevitable unraveling began. Mata Hari was arrested, accused of espionage and treason. The evidence against her was circumstantial, yet the war demanded a scapegoat. In a trial marked by sensationalism, her life became a public spectacle, where the truth was obscured by the fog of war. The very secrets she had once traded now turned against her. As she stood before the firing squad, Mata Hari's legacy was cemented in history. She became a symbol of the seductive power of espionage, a woman who navigated the treacherous waters of war with unmatched skill. Her story transcended the battlefield, evolving into a legend that would echo through time, illustrating the high stakes of deception in a world at war. In the aftermath of her execution, Mata Hari's life and death sparked a fascination that would endure for decades. She became an archetype of the femme fatale, embodying the duality of seduction and betrayal. Her narrative served as a cautionary tale, reminding future generations of the complexities of loyalty and the perilous nature of truth in the realm of espionage. Mata Hari's story is a stark reminder that in war, truth becomes a weapon and spies become legends. The echoes of her life reverberate through the annals of history, illustrating how the shadows of deception can shape the course of nations. In the end, she was not just a spy, she was a symbol of the intricate dance of power, passion, and peril that defines the world of espionage. As the Great War escalated, the art of espionage evolved, with surveillance becoming a crucial tool in the shadows. Nations invested in new technologies, from telegraphs to aerial reconnaissance, to monitor enemy movements. The battlefield expanded beyond the front lines, with intelligence gathering emerging as a silent but potent weapon. In this high-stakes game, every whisper and every glance could shift the tide of war. Mata Hari, once a celebrated dancer, found herself ensnared in this web of intrigue. Her glamorous persona concealed a dangerous reality. She was under constant scrutiny. The French and German intelligence services both believed she was a double agent, each convinced she was feeding secrets to the enemy. In this atmosphere of paranoia, the line between truth and deception blurred, and Mata Hari became a pawn in a game of shadows. As the net tightened around her, surveillance intensified. Agents trailed her through the streets of Paris, their eyes ever watchful. Every encounter was scrutinized, every letter intercepted. The world of espionage thrived on suspicion, and Mata Hari's every move was dissected by those who sought to control the narrative. In a war where information was power, she became a figure of both fascination and fear. The culmination of this relentless surveillance came in 1917, when Mata Hari was arrested on charges of espionage. The evidence against her was circumstantial, yet the atmosphere of war demanded a scapegoat. The French authorities, eager to demonstrate their resolve, seized upon her celebrity status, transforming her into a symbol of treachery. The very secrets she had navigated became the instruments of her downfall. In the courtroom, the prosecution painted Mata Hari as a seductive siren, luring men into a web of betrayal. The trial was a spectacle, with the public captivated by the drama unfolding. Yet beneath the sensationalism lay a stark truth. In wartime, the narrative is often shaped by those in power. Mata Hari's story became a cautionary tale of how easily perception can be manipulated in the name of national security. As she faced the firing squad, Mata Hari's legacy was already cemented. Her execution on October 15, 1917, marked the tragic end of a life steeped in intrigue. Yet, rather than extinguishing her story, it ignited a mythos that would endure. She transformed from a mere spy into an enduring symbol of the complexities of loyalty, betrayal, and the blurred lines of truth in a world at war. Mata Hari's tale reverberated through the decades, embodying the duality of espionage. In the shadows, she became a legend, representing the seductive power of secrecy and the perilous consequences of betrayal. Her story serves as a reminder that in the theater of war, the most potent weapon is often the truth, twisted, manipulated, and wielded with deadly precision by those who seek to control the narrative. In the hushed chambers of a Paris courtroom, the air thickened with tension as Mata Hari faced her accusers. The weight of the war hung heavily upon her, a conflict that transformed her from a celebrated dancer into a scapegoat. As the trial unfolded, whispers of treachery and betrayal filled the room, blurring the lines between guilt and innocence. Here, in this crucible of accusation, the truth became a weapon wielded by those eager to shift blame. The prosecution painted a vivid picture of Mata Hari as a double agent, a femme fatale who danced through the shadows of espionage. Evidence, circumstantial yet compelling, suggested her involvement with the Germans. Each piece of testimony, laced with suspicion, transformed her into a symbol of the enemy, a narrative that resonated with a war-weary public desperate for a scapegoat amidst the chaos of conflict. As the trial progressed, Mata Hari's defense struggled to counter the tide of public opinion. Her charm and allure, once celebrated, now served as fodder for her accusers. The courtroom became a stage where her past was scrutinized, her relationships dissected. In this theater of war, the line between truth and deception blurred, leaving the jury grappling with the question: was she truly a spy, or merely a woman caught in the crossfire of a brutal conflict? On October 15, 1917, the verdict was delivered: guilty of espionage. The weight of the decision echoed through the courtroom, a chilling reminder of the stakes at play. Mata Hari, once a figure of fascination, was now a casualty of war. Her fate sealed, she became a symbol of the era's paranoia, a testament to how the desperate need for clarity in chaos often leads to the sacrifice of the innocent. In the days leading to her execution, Mata Hari remained defiant, a stark contrast to the fear that gripped her captors. She faced her impending death with a grace that belied the turmoil surrounding her. As she prepared for the firing squad, she became a legend, a figure who transcended her reality. In her final moments, she embodied the very essence of espionage, a life lived in shadows where truth was a weapon and sacrifice inevitable. The world watched as Mata Hari was executed on October 15, 1917. The gunfire that rang out marked the end of her life, but ignited a legacy that would endure. In death, she transformed into a symbol of the complexities of war, a reminder of how easily truth can be manipulated. Her story became a cautionary tale, illustrating the perilous dance between loyalty and betrayal, and the fine line that separates hero from villain. Mata Hari's execution did not extinguish her spirit. It immortalized her as one of history's most enigmatic figures. In the years that followed, her story evolved into legend, a narrative woven into the fabric of espionage lore. The question of her guilt lingered, a haunting echo of a woman sacrificed on the altar of war. In the end, she became a testament to the power of narrative, where truth and myth intertwine, shaping the legends of spies for generations. Mata Hari emerged from the shadows of World War I, a symbol of seduction and intrigue. Her life became a canvas painted with the hues of espionage, where the lines between truth and deception blurred. As nations grappled with the chaos of war, her story transformed into a narrative that transcended her existence, capturing the imagination of a world hungry for heroes and villains. The war created a fertile ground for myths to flourish. Mata Hari, once a celebrated dancer, was recast as a femme fatale, embodying the fears and desires of a society grappling with the unknown. Her trial and execution became a spectacle, a cautionary tale that warned of the dangers lurking in the shadows, where loyalty was a luxury few could afford. In the aftermath of her death, Mata Hari's legacy morphed into a potent weapon of propaganda. Governments seized upon her story, using it to demonize the enemy and justify their actions. The myth of the seductive spy became a rallying cry, reinforcing the belief that treachery could wear a beautiful face, and that even the most glamorous lives could hide the darkest secrets. As decades passed, the legend of Mata Hari grew, entwined with the fabric of popular culture. Films, books, and operas immortalized her, transforming her from a mere historical figure into an archetype of espionage. The allure of her story captivated generations, illustrating how war can sculpt narratives that endure long after the battles have ceased, reshaping perceptions of loyalty and betrayal. Yet, Beneath the layers of myth lies a woman whose true identity remains elusive. Mata Hari's life was not merely a tale of seduction and betrayal, it was a reflection of the complexities of a world at war. Her legacy serves as a reminder that the stories we tell about spies often overshadow the human experiences behind them, blurring the lines between fact and fiction. In the end, Mata Hari became a mirror reflecting society's fears and fantasies. The very essence of her myth, crafted from war and fear, speaks to the power of narrative in shaping history. As nations continue to engage in conflict, the legends of spies like her remind us that in the theater of war, truth is often the first casualty, and myth can wield as much power as any weapon. Mata Hari's legacy endures, a testament to the intricate dance between reality and myth. Her story is a chilling reminder that in the realm of espionage, the line between hero and villain is often indistinct. As we reflect on her life, we uncover not just the tale of a spy, but the universal truths about the human condition in times of turmoil, where fear and desire intertwine to create legends that shape our world.